And right now at 4, we are getting right to the forecast. Parts of Hampton Roads are flooding, and much of the area is under a flash flood warning. Check out how hard the rain has been coming down today.
Here's a live look at Frederick Boulevard in Portsmouth on this Tuesday afternoon. The rain and storms have caused street flooding, and some underpasses are flooded out, so be very careful if you have to be outside anytime soon.
Good evening, afternoon. I'm Ashley Knight.
And I'm Regina Mobley. Here's a live look outside from Tower Cam 10 above Portsmouth. We have live team coverage of the severe weather. We start with meteorologist Brian Michigan and chief meteorologist Jeff Edmondson, both live in the Super Doppler 10 Weather Center.
A lot of rainfall, Brian, here in the last couple of hours. You've been watching it even before I came in because I got stuck in traffic trying to get in here because of the rainfall.
It's been a really tough go across Hampton Roads. Norfolk, kind of near ODU, kind of the epicenter for most of the heaviest stuff too. Radar estimates 3 to 5 inches in some case over the past 3 hours. So that's heavy rainfall in a short amount of time with this very tropical, soupy air mass over top of us, and yeah, that's why we have the flooding issues right now.
So stationary thunderstorms have been the big problem for the region, so slow moving areas of heavy rainfall. That's what I was saying yesterday at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, maybe even at 5 or 6 too. I don't know if I said there, but areas of slow moving rainfall, we're getting rainfall rates of around 1 to 2 inches per hour, and that's why we're seeing signs and things like this. Brian?
We've got this. Do not be someone who gets themselves into this sticky situation. This is kind of near the Church Street area, near the cemetery and Cruise parking area. This is from Jamie, sent in to wavy.com. Thank you so much for sending this in to us. You can kind of see Monticello Avenue in the distance there, so it kind of gives you a gauge as to where this is. Waist deep water, cars that are stranded, they can't move. This water is getting into the engines. It is going to completely ruin some of these cars that are stuck in them. So remember the phrase, turn around, do not drown. This is definitely not a situation where you want to be driving into these flooded roadways. I don't care how late or how urgent you need to be somewhere. You got to be away from those areas, especially in the underpasses, just areas that are flooded in downtown Norfolk, especially if you can't tell, or really if you see ponding on the roadways, it's really hard to tell how deep that water is, so do not drive into them. All these green boxes, those are flash flood warnings that go till around 6 o'clock. This one bigger one here that encompasses more of Suffolk, Chesapeake, into Norfolk and Portsmouth, that one goes until 6:30. These thunderstorms have been sitting over these locations for hours now. Pretty much over 3 hours across parts of the area. Into downtown Norfolk, that's where we've seen kind of the worst of the weather. Right now, looks like it's shifting more into Portsmouth. So that's at least good news for some of these areas that are really dealing with that intense flooding into Norfolk. Into Portsmouth, though, we are seeing some big time heavy rainfall off towards the Greenbrier area. Really right down 264, very troublesome travel out there. Take it easy on the roadways, especially on the interstates with the ponding that is actively ongoing. Down Route 13 into Suffolk, got more heavy rainfall. Windsor, you're in the clear right now, but there's some rain kind of around your area. So if you have to head out maybe towards Suffolk or using Route 13 to get into Portsmouth, it's going to be a tough go. As you work your way to the north and west towards Smithfield, still under that flash flood warning that extends over to Wakefield. But the good news is some of these thunderstorms have rained themselves out, and that's what we're going to be really hoping for as we go throughout the next couple of hours here. These thunderstorms that they're growing very tall vertically. There's not much shear, so we don't have to worry about a big time severe weather threat. But what we do have to worry about is, of course, these thunderstorms that just sit over one area for a prolonged period of time. This is the nature of these kind of storms when it comes to stationary fronts. There's not much steering in the atmosphere to get these storms moving along. Williamsburg up to Gloucester. We're not seeing the over 2 inch per hour rainfall rates that areas across Hampton Roads have been seeing. However, we still do have some light to moderate rainfall across the region that could lead to some slick roadways out there. So if you're along 64 headed towards Williamsburg, you have to be traveling out. Just use the reduced speeds. Route 17 going to be pretty wet as well. Into Hampton, Newport News. Looks like really north of the James River, rainfall rates not nearly as intense as across Hampton Roads. So that's where we're seeing the worst of the weather. It's in downtown Norfolk. It's into Portsmouth where we have those intense reds and the flash flood warnings that are actively going on right now. I'll zoom this out. You can see over the past couple of hours here how these thunderstorms have kind of blossomed over the past couple of hours. A lot of lightning with them, kind of shows the convective nature of some of these storms out there as well. These deep tropical plumes of moisture moving on into the south side. Zooming back in, you can see these are all the flash flood warnings that we have active across the area. Right now, the heaviest of rainfall centered over Portsmouth and over portions of Suffolk right now as well. Chesapeake, the worst of the weather looks to be north of 64. Mainly just light rainfall as you go down 17 and into the Great Dismal Swamp. Newport News, just some light to moderate rainfall out there right now. It's south of the James River that we really have the biggest issues right now when it comes to flooding. Hampton, just some heavier pockets of rain out there at the moment. Zooming in, again, this is downtown Norfolk. Things getting a little bit better here along 264. We've had some issues with some heavy rainfall. Most of that is starting to lighten up now. It's back over into Portsmouth where we have some of the heaviest rain towards the Groove Park area, Greenbrier, really north of 264 getting into Portsmouth. That's where we're seeing some of the heaviest rainfall right now. Up towards Armistead Forest area, Taylor Road, as we head into downtown Portsmouth, that's where we're also seeing some of the issues with some flooding due to those heavy rainfall rates. Areas in these red colors, that's 1 to 2 inches plus per hour. So we'll continue to time this out coming up in our full forecast.
All right, thanks, Brian. We have live team coverage of the weather tonight.
Markeisha Jackson is in Norfolk where several streets have flooded. Markeisha?
Hey, Ashley and Regina, we just heard Jeff and Brian talk about what we're seeing here in Norfolk. The rainfall, so to speak, slowing down a little bit, but there's still lots of water left in the roads. You heard Brian talk about ponding. We're seeing a lot of that where we are here, right in the heart of downtown Norfolk, if you will. Lots of that standing water. So like Brian said, if you're going to be driving this evening, please be safe, whether that's here in Norfolk and Portsmouth, wherever you are, because this is very much going to be the case of what you see. And you heard Jeff talk about the commute. Traffic is gnarly right now, to say the least. It took us quite a while to get from Portsmouth over here. We plan to go a little deeper in Norfolk to see how things look, but this is what you can expect if you are driving anywhere right about now. So definitely take your time. This is video that our photog shot on his way into work near Colonial and Princess Anne. So lots of that water, lots of the flooding on these streets. So you want to be extremely careful on your evening commute here.
All right, we have a little bit of a technical malfunction here. We have crews all over the trouble spots in Hampton Roads, Portsmouth, downtown Norfolk, other areas. Virginia Beach seems to be in pretty good shape right now.
And here's another view of the flooding in Portsmouth after a line of storms continues to roll through. 10 on your side, chief photographer Jeff Myers has a camera mounted to the dashboard of his vehicle and is safely getting these live images.
As our team of meteorologists said, parts of the area are under a flash flood warning. If you come across any standing water, turn around, don't drive through it. We will continue to monitor conditions outside and bring you any updates as we get them. Well, several 10 on your side viewers have sent in pictures of the flooding. Take a look at these images from Monticello Avenue in Norfolk. As you can see, cars deep in the water with people trying to get to safety.
This is a part of Norfolk that often floods during heavy rainstorms like this. We've also gotten reports of flooding on Brambleton and Tidewater, Brambleton and Virginia Beach Boulevard, and parts of East Ocean View Avenue. Now, if you see news or weather near you, you can safely take video or pictures. Send them to reportit@wavy.com.